Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of VSTAr Radio, and oh my goodness, is it good now, ladies and gentlemen, because we've got confirmation of, and I think I can say this and feel quite justified that I'm not overhyping or being hyperbolic or anything silly like that, the coolest secret rares that I think we've probably ever seen in the Pokemon TCG. It is absolutely over-the-top ridiculous, and if you want to complete the set of these, good luck. These are going to get ridiculous. What we've got are basically a bunch of Gen 4 legendaries. And we need to start off with this Arceus, because goodness gracious me, this Arceus is absolutely ridiculous. And it's drawn by the lovely Akira Egawa. More on that lovely person in a moment. And this is Arceus VSTAr. But it's an alternate art of Arceus VSTAr. But this isn't an alternate art in the way that Charizard is an alternate art of Charizard VSTAr. Because this isn't a special art rare, an SAR as they are over in Japan. This is a UR, an ultra rare, and it's gold. And it is beyond anything we've seen. And whoever at the Pokemon Company over in Japan is responsible for assigning artists to do these cards, can I just say a massive thank you to them for choosing Akira Egawa here, because they've nailed it. Like, they understood the assignment and they just absolutely nailed it. This is absolutely stunning. But this isn't all, ladies and gentlemen, because we've also got a rather lovely Dialga running around on a mountain. It's gold, it's an ultra rare, and would you believe it, we've got artwork by Akira Egawa. Yeah, they were tasked with doing the run of these, and firstly, I like it when one artist gets a whole run of something like this. It just looks cooler. But secondly, as I said a moment ago, they've picked the perfect person to do this. This is absolutely stunning. But that's not all, because we've also got a Palkia. You can't have Dialga without Palkia. That would be wrong. Obviously, these are the origin form, if you didn't notice, because, of course, the V-Stars are literally, they're not Dialga V-Star and Palkia V-Star. They are origin form Dialga V-Star and origin form Palkia V-Star. So that's kind of awesome now, isn't it? Oh, yeah. And apparently that wasn't enough, so we get Giratina as well. I know. And this might be my favourite of them. Now, this is the one that's kind of interesting, because, of course, we've had the special arts of all of these Pokemon, the Vs, but the special art of Giratina V is particularly special. And don't get me wrong, the others have had the special arts, but they've not been anywhere near as popular as the Giratina. I think this just blows that Giratina out the water, if I'm perfectly honest with you. This is just absolutely flat out crazy, beyond stunning, awesome. And I am completely and utterly in love with this. I just think this card's amazing. And here's the thing, these cards are going to get silly. Because not only are these absolutely stunning in terms of artwork, although they are, and not only are these going to be very rare and hard to pull, and they are, but also, these are all like super playable cards. All four of these are legitimately playable at the moment. Now, I know that with the release of Silver Tempest, or Paradigm Trigger over in Japan, I know that Lugia is coming out to spoil the party, so to speak. But make no mistake about it, all of these are very playable. Now, the Dialga is, well, it's the worst among them. Dialga's been a fringe deck since it came out, and I will admit that as it stands at the moment, as we stand, Dialga isn't really seeing a huge amount of play, but it's got a V-Star power that lets you take 2 turns in a row. That's got to be interesting. And we've seen this popping up on streams at big tournaments doing well. This isn't an unplayed or unplayable card. It's just the lowest among of these. Obviously, Arceus has been great since it first came out. It pairs well with basically everything. It's got an attack that does 200 damage while accelerating free basic energy to a Pokemon V, and an ability that lets you search your deck for any 2 cards and put them into your hand, which is ridiculous. Giratina has proven to be a top-tier deck. Free energy 280, or 2 energy if you got 10 or more cards in the Lost Zone, instant KO. And we've seen Lugia doing well since the release of Lost Origin, running around with that Lost Zone engine and just generally being great. And then Palkia was the big deck coming out of Astral Radiance, and Palkia's been dominant and remains being good. Because 2 energy, 60 plus 20 for each bench Pokemon, yours and your opponent's, and an ability that can accelerate free water energy. It is fair to say that with the release of Lost Origin, it gained a friend in Kyurem and VMAX and got quite a bit better, or at least changed around a bit, because it was pretty gosh darn good as on its own. So we've got 4 super playable cards with stunning artwork and very low pull rates. It seems to be that these are the 4 in the set. The set is out now over in Japan, and these are the headline cards. These are the ones that people are going to be going absolutely crazy for. And if we go back to VMAX Climax, because remember, this is basically the set to celebrate the end of year 3 of the Sword and Shield TCG. And the set that celebrated the end of year 2 was VMAX Climax. So this is very literally the sequel to VMAX Climax. They had the gold cards. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. These are so much better than the gold cards. And I honestly don't even really think it's close. Like, if we call these a 10, I would give the gold cards like a 4. They're fine. And they're cool, and they're very hard to pull and expensive over in Japan, etc. But these are just on another level entirely. Now, this did get me thinking about the value of these gold cards from VMAX Climax. The Pikachu, which is the most popular of them, because again, these were the ultra rares back in VMAX Climax. Over on Mercari, the last couple of solds come in at 4,444 yen. Yeah, on Mercari and places like that, they love doing the repeating numbers. I'm not entirely sure why, and I don't really care, to be honest. It amuses me. I like it. But 4,444 yen comes in at 3,250, which is not actually terribly expensive. So I'm hoping we can see a similar thing here. It's not really fair to compare prices over here for those cards, because remember, those cards that from VMAX Climax, we didn't actually get them in a set like Japan did. We got them as part of the trainer gallery, and it is fair to say that the trainer gallery cards have become hilariously cheap. Like that Pikachu in English, like a $10 card, but then by the same token, it's like, well, the trainer gallery has really good pull rates, so we're going to be getting these in Crown Zenith, and I honestly can't tell you that it's going to be the same. That we're going to have the same pull rates as the trainer gallery or even the set in Japan. I don't know what value's going to be like, but I can tell you that initially these gold cards over in Japan were crazy, stupid, cheap. And I can tell you that after that, actually, the price has dropped quite a bit. I mean, if we want to take another example here, let's take Rayquaza. Because, I don't know, Rayquaza's another, like, really popular Pokemon. So maybe that's going to show us that a little bit as well. And we can see that the gold version for that is cheaper. I deliberately started with Pikachu because it was going to be the most expensive. And that's being listed on Mercari for, like, 2,500 yen. Which is not nothing, incidentally. Like, 2,500 yen comes in at somewhere in the region of around about $18. So these gold cards over in Japan have plummeted in value. Does that mean these are going to? I wouldn't be so sure. The thing is, there are 2 things going for these ultra rares that we didn't see in VMAX Climax. First of all, I really do think these are so far above the gold cards, it's not even funny. Like, comparing this artwork to those gold cards, it's not even close. And second of all, these are really playable. Like, outside of Lugia, you've basically got the best VSTArs in the game. And the gold cards just weren't on that level. And we didn't have that real crossing over of playable and popular. Whereas here, things like Arceus, Giratina, oh yeah, they're popular Pokemon. And they're also, like, super duper expensive. So, yeah. It's going to get a bit silly. I think. I'd love to be wrong. I want these to be like $20 cards. And if they are $20 cards, I am going to be absolutely delighted. That is going to be amazing, and I'm going to be loving it. But I worry, ladies and gentlemen, that is unfortunately not the way it's going to be going. I think when you combine how playable these cards are, how popular these Pokemon are, and how wonderful the artwork is. But you never know. What I can tell you is we've seen this time and again, these are going to be cheaper in English. The English version of these cards are going to be significantly cheaper because that's just the way it always goes. We've seen a million different cards over the past couple of years that have done exactly this. So I'm happy about that, but I want the Japanese versions, and I think it could get a little bit silly. But I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel. You can get some bonus podcasts where I answer all of your questions. You can join a Discord and have a chat with us about, well, basically anything you want to have a chat about. And you can get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Noah Zoldak, who's been a supporter of ours for a long time now. So thank you very much for the support and for being a very lovely person. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.